What an amazing day to come out here and just really enjoy out here by the pool. I'm actually going to jump in later. Um, but this hot day reminds me of when I used to play soccer. When I used to play soccer, I played with a team that we traveled. We played a Division I team that played competitive, and we were able to play all over Texas. We played in invitationals in Dallas, in Minnesota, as well as Florida, which were really pretty amazing. It was an amazing experience, and I'll never forget it. And just a side note, so you know what invitationals are. These are actually pretty prestigious places to play where you have to be invited. In fact, you have to turn in a resume in order to get accepted. So it was really awesome to play with the best of the best and also have college coaches watch you play. Now, one of the things that happened to me when I was playing soccer was my freshman year, I tore my ACL. It was probably the worst experience ever, worst pain ever I have ever experienced. And as I was playing my senior year, we're playing our rivals. I got clipped from behind. What clipping means is when a girl kind of hits the back of your feet, so your feet kind of trip, where you kind of trip yourself. And then I felt my knee kind of do that. And I knew I retore my meniscus as well as my ACL. I was in so much pain, but I didn't want anybody to know because I wanted to keep playing. But I knew my time was up. I knew it was over. I knew I really messed my knee up this time. So fast forward, had to have surgery again on the same knee. And I was gonna come back and say, okay, well, I could probably come back. I'm gonna try to come back and you know. So one of the things is that because I hurt myself so bad, I decided that I never wanted to do anything for it to cause greater pain. I never wanted to have another surgery. I never wanted to feel that pain again. I mean, I kind of had this set mindset. So what did I do? I literally quit working out, literally quit doing sports. And of course, well, you know what happens when you do that. Of course, you get out of shape, you gain weight, things of that sort. Well, one of the things was I did it out of fear. I did that out of fear because I didn't want to feel the pain again. Well, let's fast forward, right? The whole point of me telling you this is that I went to recently, probably maybe a year ago or so, I went to train, and I'm like, man, I gotta get back in shape. You know, I want to be in the same shape that I was in soccer. Maybe I won't ever get to the 100% to like that, but I remember wanting to go back and just be in the great shape that I was for soccer. I played year round. My gosh, I was in amazing shape. And so when I went back to the gym, I said, you know, my greatest concerns are my knees. Because I favor one of the things I realized is I favor my left knee so much that now my right knee hurts. And so coming to the realization that when you favor something, you end up hurting something else. So I realized that, and I try to be self-conscious and aware that to make sure I put the proper weight on both knees, and try to be aware to make sure I put the right amount of weight on my left knee. It's really hard. I can't just do it because it's automatic. It's an automatic body memory that I automatically do that by trying to favor and not put so much pressure on the left knee. I've gotten a lot better, but you know, the funny thing is I didn't even know I was doing that until one of the doctors pointed it out. So I'm telling this to the trainer, and he says, well, let's check it out. Let's see what you can do, and let's see where we can go from there. We do all the training. We do all the different exercises. He checks my mobility, my balance. I mean, you name it, they do it. And he said, you know, I think you're fine. I think it's all up here. And I kind of laughed because I thought, you know, you're right. But I felt like I needed to hear that. You see, I've been favoring this leg for years. And I have been staying away from anything that would cause it pain. And yes, there's some things that I do, but some things I don't because of that fear of feeling that pain again, feeling that, you know, a fear of getting another surgery, you know, just a fear of so many things, of trying to protect it to the best of my ability, where I've overprotected it. And because I did that, now at my right knee, I'm having issues with my right knee. So now to try to find balance, right? And so this really brings me to David. It reminds me of David in the Bible when he says to God, search me, O God. Of course, there's more to that scripture, but I really want to focus on that one little short piece. You know, one thing I love about David is he's always real with God. And that's why he was always known to be after God's own heart. David was always real and legit. Like, when he was mad at God, he told God, like, for real, God, like, what the heck? Why is this happening to me? Why are they trying to kill me? Remember when Saul was trying to go out and kill him because of the things that he was just simply anointed to do? And I think we come to those places like, God, why? You know, in point of reference for my knee, that's how I felt like, why? Why? And I think as being single, we tend to go through that. You know, we tend to overanalyze our life. And I think that sometimes we have those past hurts, those past pains, that we end up favoring it so much that we end up hindering another part of us. And I think that's something we kind of need to ask God. Is there anything in our lives, God? Anything in our lives that I'm over favoring, that I'm really hurting another area of my life, when overall I'm really hurting all of me because of that? Is there anything in my life, God, that I am doing? So search me, God. Try me, know me, test me, put me to the test. And the crazy thing is when you ask that, don't forget that when you get put through the test, when God puts you through things, allows you to go through things actually, don't be like, why, God? Why are all these things happening to me? He's trying to purify your heart, and he's trying to show you the very thing that is in you so that you can know the real issue. And a lot of times those impurities come forward and you're like, wow, I didn't know that about myself. It's like what they say, when you squeeze an orange, what comes out? Orange juice. And that's the very thing. You want to know what comes out. When you're under pressure, when you're in trial, what kind of reaction do you have? What kind of reaction? What if you, maybe you don't react, maybe you run away, maybe you hide, maybe you, there's a variety of different things. What's your go-to? You know, and that's how during trials, you know, it's a hard prayer to ask, but it's very brave. And I think during this time of being single, it's our great and an amazing opportunity to ask God, what are those things in our lives, so that when we have an opportunity to meet somebody, we're able to be more self-aware, more cleansed, more pure, in the sense of that we're not carrying any baggage. We're not carrying anything to the next relationship. And that's another thing. It's okay to be single. Please know that. It has taken me years to realize that. You don't have to date everybody all the time, every time, because you're dealing with your heart. And allow God to heal you. Allow that time for him to work in you. It doesn't mean for the rest of your life. It just means a season, like, God, let's work on me. Because the next person I meet, I don't want it to be like the last, or the one before, or the one before. I want you to work in me, work out those things, so that when I meet that next person, it's even greater than it was before. And not just that, not only is that other person greater than it was before, but I attract a greater person. But also too, I can now offer myself even great in a greater way. So today, pray the hardest prayer, to ask God to search you. This is the time, this is the place. Take an opportunity and ask God to search your heart. But be ready. Be ready and willing, aware. So if you're going through a trial, really ask God, okay, God, what do you need me to see? Humble yourself. Come before him. Pray. Seek him. And never give up.